On the last episode of Beyond Compare Wrestling, Benson and Fancy Dan were put through a tag team gauntlet match, and even with the odds stacked against them, they managed to emerge victorious by defeating Hard Limit in the finals. Will Benson and Fancy Dan keep their winning streak alive this week? And what punishment will Hard Limit face for losing? Also, Cameron Lewis nearly won his Champions Challenge match, losing only by split decision. Does this move to singles competition signal the end of Cameron Lewis's tag team career with Isaac Taylor? And BCW World Champion Dirty Don managed to outsmart Mr. GM and now has full control of tonight's show. Beyond Compare Wrestling presents BCW 38, The Dirty Don Show.
Thank you for joining us here tonight, and as we just seen, it is BCW 38, The Dirty Don Show, and Dirty Don is pulling out all the stops with two blockbuster matches here tonight. It is Mr. GM versus Victor Payne, which we'll get to in a moment, but the main event, Benson Hicks versus Fancy Dan, two best friends facing each other in a loser leaves match. Either Benson Hicks or Fancy Dan will be gone from BCW here tonight. Both men have been a thorn in the side of Dirty Don, and he is making sure to get rid of one of them here tonight. Who will it be in the main event? We got to take a short break, and we'll be back for Victor Payne versus Mr. GM. Mr. GM versus Victor Payne. BCW is coming out with a brand new championship, and there is an 8-man tournament to determine who will be the first champion. Victor Payne received a bye from Mr. GM a few weeks ago due to Victor Payne feeling like he had been unfairly treated in number 1 contender matches for the world title. But tonight it's Mr. GM versus Victor Payne. Who's coming out with the win? Let's find out right now.
Please welcome to the ring, the man in charge, Mr. GM.
And here we go, Mr. GM making his official in-ring debut here tonight. He was originally scheduled a few weeks ago to face Dirty Don in that 5-minute contest, but it was Dirty Don who gave Mr. GM food poisoning, causing Mr. GM to have to forfeit that match. So tonight, Mr. GM making his official in-ring debut here tonight against Victor Payne.
He stands a towering 6 feet, 9 inches tall, and weighing in at 375 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Victor Payne.
And here he is, the biggest, the strongest, the most powerful man on the roster. He is currently undefeated in singles competition. He is Victor Payne, 6'9", 375, and this match has all been brought about by Dirty Don, and it is a punishment for Mr. GM. Mr. GM has been a thorn in the side of Dirty Don since episode 1, and this match is just to get a little bit of revenge against Mr. GM. And if you're looking at the entire roster and you're looking to get revenge against someone, Victor Payne has got to be your number 1 choice, and that's who it was here tonight. Opening contest of BCW 38, the Dirty Don Show. And here we go, the bell is rung, the match is underway. Mr. GM coming out hot in this one, trying to get the early advantage on a Victor Payne, but Victor Payne just a huge punch right to the face and follows it up with an elbow drop. And when you are the size of a Victor Payne, even the most rudimentary of moves can be finishers, and a big side slam there. Huge punch from a person who has the power of a Victor Payne, and just that elbow drop. 375 crashing down on your sternum. And Mr. GM, he has not been a competitor in a long time. He's in his mid-50s. He does not have the stamina and the durability, presumably, that an active competitor would. But Victor Payne from the top rope with a huge elbow drop. That is using gravity and momentum to your advantage. This could be it right here. 2. I was going to say this match could have been about a few, less than a minute, just a few seconds into this match, and that could have been it. And Victor Payne just choking out Mr. GM here. Mr. GM has got to do something to land some offense on a Victor Payne. And when you are looking to pick someone to absolutely destroy someone that you hate, and you're looking at the roster, Victor Payne is the perfect person. And Victor Payne, he has had issues with Mr. GM in the past, so that's why I think he was so eager to oblige. Oh, and what's this? A big, ginormous powerbomb, head bouncing off the canvas, bouncing off that bottom rope. And Dirty Don chiming in there. That is a huge powerbomb from a huge man. You're probably about 10 feet in the air, and that could easily break someone's back, especially if you're not an active competitor taking bump after bump, week after week. And what's Victor Payne got here? Oh, looked like he was going for a pump handle. Mr. GM reverses. This is his opportunity. Dirty Don made this match to get a little revenge against Mr. GM. He wants Victor Payne to absolutely obliterate Mr. GM here tonight. But if Mr. GM can do the impossible, if he can beat Victor Payne, he can advance in the tournament. And that would definitely stick in the craw of Dirty Don. But, oh, and a huge splash. I think that would have been it if Victor Payne could have hit that splash. But he's got Mr. GM in the corner, and he is unloading a double shot of elbows. And could this be it here? He's setting him up potentially for that Cobra clutch. And he is. Victor Payne has put away opponent after opponent after opponent by sapping the life out of him. Can Mr. GM do something to get out, or is he going to tap out? And Mr. GM rolls it out. But Victor Payne just shoves him down. And Mr. GM has had virtually zero offense on Victor Payne. And Victor Payne is just loving that big right hand to the temple. And this could be it. 2. And normally a punch would not have the effect of putting out your opponent. But when it comes from Victor Payne, and again, just choking him out. Victor Payne just smothering Mr. GM here. And originally it was Victor Payne getting the bye in this upcoming tournament to crown a brand new champion. There's a brand new championship coming here in BCW, and Victor Payne had a bye in that tournament given to him by Mr. GM. But Victor Payne, he's taking a step back here to the quarterfinals to face Mr. GM as laid out by Dirty Don here tonight. And I'm sure Victor Payne is for sure going to oblige, and he hits him with that sidewalk slam. That boss man slam too. Got him. Victor Payne wins, advances to the semifinals of the tournament again. And he took a step back in the tournament only to get back to right where he was.
Here is your winner via pinfall, Victor Payne.
Mr. GM makes his debut, comes up short, but congratulations to Victor Payne, etching out another victory, advances to the semifinals, and still remains undefeated. Well, there we have it. Dirty Don just moments ago making another match here tonight, and it is for the BCW World Tag Team titles. Hard Limit facing the Exiled in this first time ever matchup. And as Dirty Don said, he is the master of the win-win scenario. Regardless of the outcome of this match, Dirty Don is coming out with exactly the outcome he wants. But can Hard Limit capture the World Tag Team titles, or will the Exiled keep steamrolling the tag division? Let's find out right now.
Making their way to the ring at a combined weight of 470 pounds, Hard Limit.
Well, here they are, Hard Limit, Sweetcox and the Tool getting a BCW World Tag Team title match here tonight. And their tag team record is not great. They don't have too many wins here in the tag team division. But Dirty Don, he has leapfrogged them all the way to the top to give them a title shot here tonight. Normally they would not even be in contention, but we're going to see what Hard Limit can do against the World Tag Team Champions. It's a first time ever matchup. And Hard Limit, it's just like in any contest. You got the puncher's chance. Anyone can win at any point, but the Exiled, they're undefeated. They are the wrecking crew of the tag division. Can Hard Limit get it done? Let's find out.
Making their way to the ring at a combined weight of 540 pounds, the undisputed BCW World Tag Team Champions, Ultimo Nightmare and the Hardcore Icon Xander. They are the Exiled.
And here they are, the undefeated BCW World Tag Team Champions, the Exiled. They have been cutting through the tag division like a hot knife through butter. And tonight they are facing Hard Limit on short notice. I don't think Hard Limit or the Exiled knew that they were going to be competing here tonight. But they are here to compete. They got their ring gear on and they are defending their BCW World Tag Team titles right here, right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is for the undisputed BCW World Tag Team Championship.
And here we go, breaking it down for the World Tag Team titles. We have Hard Limit. They have 2 wins, 7 losses, a 22% win rate. They are not in contention for the tag title, so it is very fortunate that Dirty Don has gifted them a title shot. And in comparison, the Exiled, 9-0, undefeated, BCW World Tag Team Champions for just over a year now. Who are the best team in the world? We're going to find out here tonight. It is Hard Limit and the Exiled, and the bell is rung, the match is underway, and we got the 2 big men of each respective team going at it to kick this off. We have Ultimo Nightmare in the black and red, and we have Sweetcox in the black leather. And this is somewhat of a dream match here. This is a huge hoss battle. We got 2 men that are over the 300-pound mark. It is big, meaty men slapping meat to kick off this tag team title match in a big tour of the islands. Sweetcox smartly rolls out. And as he rolls out here and we pan out from the camera, as we can see, it is the Dirty Don show, the presentation, the ring, the entrance ramp, the stage. It is all here and all modified to Dirty Don's liking. It is not the typical BCW ring aprons and setup. Dirty Don has spared no expense to let everyone know that this is the Dirty Don show. And here we have Xander and Sweetcox fighting on the outside. And when it comes to fighting on the outside, when it comes to fighting hardcore, definitely the Exiled have the advantage on the outside. I think Hard Limit, it would behoove them to get this match back in the ring. I know Sweetcox had to roll out to the outside to get away from the barrage from Ultimo Nightmare, but he's got to get him back into the ring, in my opinion, and he does. Oh, and it looked like he was going for a big haymaker there, but Xander reverses, takes him into the corner. Big tag there, going for a double team maneuver, and what do they got here? Oh, a big knee following up with a huge knee from Ultimo Nightmare. And Sweetcox, he's crawling. He's got to get to the Tool, and Ultimo Nightmare does not seem at all in distress. And the Tool coming out here, big man, little man. Oh, and he goes smartly after Xander, getting him off the apron, returns his attention to Ultimo Nightmare, going after the knee. And I think the Tool, of every single person on the roster, he is criminally underrated. It was in December that he had that absolute banger of a match against Tony Rizzo, who at the time was the #1 contender. Goes for the cover. Only a 1, though. He had that banger of a match against, at the time, #1 contender Tony Rizzo. The Tool almost came out with the win. He has had that trilogy against Fancy Dan, who we will see in our main event coming up next. So the Tool, he does not have the best record here in BCW, but he has only faced top competition, and he has looked absolutely amazing while doing so. But against an Ultimo Nightmare, that is a size mismatch. Ultimo Nightmare probably has a good foot and about 100-pound weight advantage over the Tool. And what's this double team maneuver? It's the high-low. It is a total elimination, and the Tool, he smartly makes the tag to Sweetcox, but Xander just stuffs him down. And a 2 count there, and beautiful tag team wrestling from the Exiled. And even though Hard Limit, they are at the disadvantage, they are getting taken to the woodshed, so to speak, which is exactly what Dirty Don wanted. They are doing all the smart moves. They're making the tags at the right point. They're doing what they can, and they just got to keep the nose to the grindstone. But that being said, Hard Limit, they've got to do something big to either Xander or Ultimo Nightmare. And a reversal there is a good first step, but Sweetcox has got to follow it up with some big maneuvers. And Sweetcox, he does have that Girthquake. He does have the Groin Claw. He's got a lot of maneuvers in his arsenal that can do a lot of damage. And a double team maneuver there, attacking the elbow of Xander. He does have that elbow pad on, so it's a smart maneuver. And what's the Tool got here? Oh, a big suplex, but just spins it out on himself at the end, getting that extra bit of torque and momentum. And now neutralizing Xander, the smaller man of the Exiled, and relegating him to Hard Limit's side of the ring. And beautiful maneuver there from the Tool. Perfect ring positioning, going for the cover. Only a 1 count. That was perfect. Ultimo Nightmare, he is the slower of the two, so for him to get in and run all the way across the ring to try and break that up, that is a smart maneuver. So technically sound is the Tool. He's one of the more technical wrestlers on the roster. And a big power slam there from Sweetcox, showing his power. I would say out of everyone on the roster, Dirty Don is the most technical, but I'd put the Tool about 2 or 3 on that list in terms of technical ability. Whereas Sweetcox, he is the power. He can do all those big, strong maneuvers. So it is nearly a mirror match when matching up these teams in terms of Xander and the Tool being the technical, having the more technical mindset for each team member, and then having Sweetcox and Ultimo Nightmare be the heavies, being able to come in, do a lot of damage real quick. Oh, but Xander, is he going for that Mark of Xander? And he is. Hits the Tool with the Mark of Xander. This could be it. That is his finisher. 1, 2. Oh, and the Tool gets his hand on the rope. The Mark of Xander has put away opponent after opponent. But the Tool just getting his hand on the rope, and he is hurt. Look how slow he's getting up. Spins it out, rolls out, comes back with a huge punch. Oh, and he reverses it, and he hits him with his finisher. Now the Tool blocks. Perfect ring positioning. Huge upset coming too. Oh, and Xander kicks out, but look how he kicked out. That was 2.9. The Tool making a lot of headway after that maneuver, the toolbox. And look at Ultimo Nightmare. He's just standing on the apron, seething, just waiting to come in and hit Xander like a nuclear bomb. And the Tool, and Sweet Cox, he was going for that big leg drop, came up short, no water in the pool. And Xander just whips his head back. The Exiled now picking up a lot of momentum. It was a dead heat to start this one, and then the Exiled, they came up with the advantage. We are coming back to about even, but after this double team maneuver, again going for the knee, into the knee again. That is their tag team maneuver, bread and butter right there. 2 big, huge knees, and when you're getting a knee from an Ultimo Nightmare, that is brutal, and a big splash in the corner. And in terms of what Dirty Don wanted to happen in this match, sort of a punishment, he used Victor Payne in the first match to absolutely obliterate Mr. GM. And now he is using the Exile to obliterate Hard Limit. And this is Ultimo Nightmare's finisher, the Nightmare Fuel Power Bomb. Could this be it? He's put opponents away before, too. Oh, but the Tool was right there, but Sweet Cox kicked out. I think he would have been safe to not kick out and have the Tool break it up, but you cannot take that risk when the BCW World Tag Team titles are on the line. It was way back in episode 9 when Hard Limit had their first shot at the tag titles against the Game Changers. They came up short in that one. But can they get it done here tonight on the Dirty Don Show? And Dirty Don, in terms of all the matches he has made here tonight, he said it himself, he is the master of the no-lose scenario. No matter the outcomes of the matches here tonight, it is suiting the purposes of Dirty Don, and a huge choke slam to the Tool from Ultimo Nightmare, picking him up about 10 feet in the air and just obliterating that spine. And Xander coming in just to smash his head to the ground. And the pace we are working at right now is perfectly suited for the Exiled. It is slow, it is methodical, it is designed to pick apart opponents. And Xander with that huge knee to the Tool, and he's got that knee brace on. I think he uses it as a weapon with all that hard plastic and steel. And he was going for the mark of Xander. The Tool did not want to feel that again. So he reverses and counters it into the toolbox, hits Xander. That's the second toolbox. Could he come out with the win here tonight? Ultimo Nightmare right there, though. I think if the Tool had it in his own corner, that could have been it. And when it comes to their record of 2 wins, 7 losses, their record does not accurately reflect how good Hard Limit is. Oh, and here we go. We're going for a Nightmare Fuel again. One for each member of the team, and he nails the Tool. Sends him to the Shadow Realm. Could this be it? And Sweet Cox there to break it up. Both members of Hard Limit have felt that Nightmare Fuel powerbomb and a big, huge clothesline, knocking the Tool over the top. And now just whipping him into the ring. Ultimo Nightmare so strong. I think Victor Payne is probably the strongest on the roster just due to his size. But Ultimo Nightmare, he's nearly 7 foot. He's about 6'7", goes about 330. He has got to be the second strongest on the roster and just crowns him. And now he's really feeling it there, just flexing his muscles. No sense of urgency because he knows he's in control. Oh, and look at the power and the strength rate, as I said, picking up over 300 pounds of Sweet Cox there. And Sweet Cox is out on the outside of the ring. What does Xander have for the Tool here? Picks him up, slams him down into a beautiful cartwheel, and loads up that clothesline. Big, huge lariat there. Could this be it? 1, 2, retained. The Exiled retain the BCW World Tag Team titles. They go 10-0. And as much as Dirty Don would have liked Hard Limit to win and have held all the championships here in BCW, I think he was really opted for the punishment aspect on this one, and when it comes to a punishment, I think that's exactly what this one was. The Exiled unleash a barrage that Hard Limit could not take. They retain their BCW World Tag Team titles. They remain undefeated. 10-0. The Exiled keep on rolling through the tag team division.
Here are your winners and still undisputed BCW World Tag Team Champions, The Exiled. The following contest is your main event of the evening and will be a singles match.
Well, there we go. As we just seen moments ago, Dirty Don getting into the head of Fancy Dan, trying to get him to turn on Benson. But now we have the main event X Factors. It is best friends forced to fight here tonight. Dirty Don has had a problem with both Fancy Dan and Benson Hicks, and tonight he is forcing them to fight, and he's going to get rid of one of them because of that loser leaves stipulation. What a stipulation to have. One of these men is going to be gone, and who's it going to be? But as we just seen, the $1 million bounty is still in effect. Will Fancy Dan cash in on Benson? Will he get that $1 million? Will he send Benson Hicks home? We're going to find out all here tonight. And on the flip side, will Benson put away his best friend? Will he cause his best friend to leave BCW? A lot of wrinkles in this one, a lot of question marks, but we are going to get to the main event right now and answer these questions, because it's two best friends forced to fight, a match that we would not see unless it was the Dirty Don show. It is a loser leaves BCW match. Fancy Dan and Benson Hicks. When Fancy Dan offered to help Benson go against Dirty Don, Benson warned Fancy Dan that something like this could have happened, and it is all coming to a head here tonight. Who's coming out with the win? There must be a winner. Who's leaving BCW? Let's find out right now.
The following is a loser leaves match, where the loser will be fired from BCW. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fancy Dan.
And here he is, one of the best young prospects here on the BCW roster, Fancy Dan. He's got all the potential in the world. He has been teaming up with Benson Hicks. He's been learning from Benson Hicks. He gets better and better every week, but will we see him next week, or will he be gone from BCW?
From Dallas, Texas, he is the redneck, Benson Hicks.
Well, here we go. It's Dirty Don. He is in full control of tonight's episode, and he is flexing his quote-unquote creative muscles here tonight by giving Benson Hicks a new theme to come to the ring with. Just another mind game from Dirty Don to try and stack the odds against Benson Hicks. Benson is the #1 contender for Dirty Don's world title. Dirty Don does not want to face Benson, and he is trying to do everything in his power to prevent that. Oh, and here we go. Two best friends staring each other down at the beginning of this match, and they are kicking it off with a potential handshake. And there we go. That is what you like to see in BCW. If two friends are forced to fight, let's keep it clean, let's keep it fair. And the bell has rung, the match is underway. This loser leaves match main event. Oh, and a big kick there. Benson Hicks, after that handshake, and now he's going for the twister. After that handshake, letting Fancy Dan know that he is not going to take it easy on him. When your career is on the line, you got to pull out all the stops. He is treating Fancy Dan like he would treat any other opponent. And a big kick to the head and going for that twister submission. Oh, but Fancy Dan reverses. Beautiful counter there. Benson rolls it out. Fancy Dan blocks the punch. Benson hits it. Oh, Fancy Dan reverses again. Off the ropes. Poison Rana. What a sequence. This is a main event that we have here, people. What a sequence to kick off this contest. Under normal circumstances, what a match this would be. Two of the best in BCW going up against each other. But with this loser leaves stipulation, it really puts a downer on this type of matchup. But not a downer on the action. Wow, what a sequence to kick this off. And Fancy Dan going up there for a huge neck breaker. And Fancy Dan, his career's on the line too. He is not taking it easy, but only gets a 1 count on Benson Hicks. Oh, and a big, he was going for that, I think that Fez press on Fancy Dan, but Fancy Dan counters with that beautiful over the head belly-to-belly suplex, and he's got him up for the pile driver. There is no feeling out process to kick off this match. Careers are on the line. Both men going after it big style, hitting a lot of maneuvers, and Benson, he is that Golden Gloves boxer, and he is really unleashing with these punches. And now a bit uncharacteristic going to the top rope. What does Benson have here? Goes for the splash, comes up with no water in the pool. Fancy Dan with the drop kick, but Benson rolls out, and it is counter after counter. Both men know each other's moves so well from not just being friends, but training together, from tagging together. We almost have a near mirror match in this contest. And Fancy Dan kicks out at 1. Oh, but Benson Hicks going for a signature maneuver. Here it is, the Alabama Slam by way of Texas. Quickly floats him into the cover. 1, 2. And Fancy Dan kicks out. It was a 1 count before. After that Alabama Slam, it is now a 2 count. Benson getting closer and closer. Fancy Dan ducks the punch. Hits him with one of his own. Oh, and picks him up here. Into a double underhook. Into a neck breaker. The butterfly neck breaker there. And what's he got now? Goes for his signature DDT. Really kicks out the leg to get that torque and momentum. 1, 2. Benson kicks out. But he kicks out at 2. Both men are hitting signature maneuvers. And they're climbing up the count from a 1 to a 2. If they hit their finishers, can they get the 3? Fancy Dan knocking Benson off the apron. And there we go. Dirty Don just chiming in to remind us that he has, in fact, it is a fact that he has beaten both Benson Hicks and Fancy Dan. It was in that Champions Challenge that he beat Fancy Dan with 1 second left in episode 11. Fancy Dan goes for the cover there. It's the Dandy. Can he get the 3 now? Benson Hicks kicks out of the finisher there. And it was, of course, on episode 3 in that triple threat match where Dirty Don became champion that he pinned Benson Hicks. And a big splash there. 1. Oh, and a kick out at 1. Benson Hicks showing the strong style, kicking out of the 1 after that huge maneuver. And now he's firing up. Hitting a huge comeback sequence, following it up in the end with a huge drop kick. And now he's feeling it. This is usually where he goes for the red, white, and bruised, his finisher. Is he potentially a bit reluctant to hit it because it's his friend? Oh, and a big splash over the top there. We don't see Benson going for splashes or going for the top rope very often, but he hits Fancy Dan there. And I think the wrinkle in this one is going to be, has Dirty Don got into the mind of Fancy Dan? If Fancy Dan can beat Benson Hicks and remove him from BCW, he will get that $1 million as per the bounty. Or if he is able to take out Benson through potentially injuring him, put him on the injured reserve list, that will also earn Fancy Dan the $1 million. But I think Fancy Dan, he is just here to try to win. He doesn't want to injure Benson, as he said. He does not want Dirty Don's dirty bounty money. But with your career on the line and the potential of walking out of here with a lot of money, it does weird things to people's minds. Will that be in the back of Fancy Dan's head here as he gets deeper and deeper into this match against Benson? Oh, and Benson, it looked like he was lined him up for the red, white, and bruise, but Fancy Dan just hitting the referee, blocking that. Was that intentional of Fancy Dan running into the ref to stop the momentum of running into the corner, or was that pure accident? We will never know, but it has helped Fancy Dan, and here we go. And now Benson Hicks lined him up for that red, white, and bruised. There was no ref in the way this time. And he's setting him up for his finisher, that elbow drop right to the solar plexus. He has put a lot of people away in BCW. Can he put away his best friend and end his career? But no. Fancy Dan kicks out. Both men kicking out of the best shot that their opponent has. Oh, and Benson going for that Alabama slam again. Fancy Dan, he comes out the back door. And he hits him with the overdrive. But Benson quick to get back up. He does not want to stay on his back. The longer you're on your back, the more chance you have to get pinned. I know Benson was hurting on that one, but he had to get up right away. A kick to the stomach from Fancy Dan to Benson. Oh, and is he going for it again? The second dandy. Can Benson get out of it, or has Fancy Dan just put away his best friend? 1, 2. Oh, and Benson Hicks kicks out at the last second. Fancy Dan covers up. Thought Benson was going for those strikes again. Oh, but Benson gets him with a boatload of momentum. Had him in the corner, but opted to throw him to the opposite corner to get a little extra momentum on that running splash. Stunning Fancy Dan, and now he's going for the second red, white, and bruised. Is he going to end Fancy Dan's career? Can Fancy Dan kick out? 1, 2. Got him. Benson Hicks picks up the win here tonight. And in the process, Fancy Dan is now fired from BCW. It was a hard-fought contest, but in the end, that red, white, and bruised finisher, no shame to getting pinned by that one. It has put away many, many opponents here in BCW. Oh, and here we go, post-match. Will Fancy Dan still shake Benson's hand? They shook hands at the beginning here tonight. Will they close it out with a handshake? And they do. Two friends competing here tonight. It was not their fault. It was loser leaves. So they end with a handshake. They part on good terms, but Fancy Dan is now gone from... Oh, and what's this? Something going on with the transmission here. We have gone dark in the arena. I don't know what's happening here. Oh, and here we go. Fancy Dan back in the ring, and Dirty Don is trying to get him to attack Benson Hicks to claim that bounty. But Fancy Dan won't do it. We just saw they shook hands. Dirty Don trying to orchestrate a beatdown on Benson here. And the crowd is loving it. Dirty Don has been shut down in terms of taking out Benson Hicks. But he is successful in taking out Fancy Dan. What will the consequences of the Dirty Don show be going forward? We will have to find out next week. But what a night it was. I knew when it was announced that it was going to be Dirty Don as the GM, we were going to see some crazy matchups, and Dirty Don did not disappoint. It was a tournament quarterfinal. Victor Payne coming out with another win. 13-0 now in BCW. He has advanced to the semifinals of the tournament to crown a new champion here in BCW with that new championship. Victor Payne advances. Then a BCW World Tag Team title match. The Exiled come up with the win. They have now 5 successful title defenses. They have been champions for over a year. They are 10-0, and they obliterated Hard Limit here tonight. And then we had Benson Hicks, Fancy Dan, loser leaves match, all orchestrated by Dirty Don. Benson Hicks comes out with the win. Fancy Dan is now fired from BCW. What will the ramifications be for this one going forward? We are going to have to find out. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
On the next episode of Beyond Compare Wrestling,